Smooth 98.1. This is your love music, love life station. And yes, indeed, this is the Casbah. It is 1:30 p.m. right here on Wednesday afternoon, where we are all about that good soul music. Well, so according to us, Nigerian soul and Afro soul music. But not just that, Lagos. Right now, about this time is where we have our wonderful ladies with us in the studio. Of course, I'm getting to see some people for the first time this year. Itoha. Itoha is sitting comfortably on that table. She has been AWOL, but we've been able to
Oh,
drag her back.
oh.
Yes.
Cement somebody.
Hi, Itohan.
Hey.
All right. So, how are you? She's
Oh.
got a new haircut, by the way. It's really
Mm.
cool.
Okay.
And of course, today joining us, we have Brenda. In fact, we've pulled and dragged Brenda all the way back on the show, actually.
And I'm
Hello,
happy to be
Brenda.
here. Hi.
All right, it's great to have you here as well. And of course, Nikki. Nikki is like the most loyal soul sister we have on the
Oh,
Casbah.
yo, time.
All right, guys. So here we are, Nikki, Itoha, Brenda, and myself, Khadija. We are here this afternoon. Remember, you can definitely find our topic up on all our social media platforms on Twitter at Smooth981FM, on Instagram at Smooth981. You can definitely watch us live on YouTube at the moment. That will be Smooth981 on YouTube. And of course, we'd love to hear from you on WhatsApp as well. 0809 444 Our topic for today, guys: would you let a man babysit your kids? Would, of course, now when we say would you let a man babysit your kids, we're not talking about your husband. We're
Of
talking about
course.
your husband.
Of course.
I mean, although some people may have reservations about that, but I'm not sure. Do we want to go there?
No.
No, no.
Okay, verdict is no. We're not going there. So, would you let a man apart from your husband? So that could be brother, cousin, uncle, help, babysitter who's a guy, random person who's a guy,
Hmm.
babysit your kid. Would you guys let that happen? I don't know how I feel about that. Kind of feel like, I know how I feel about it. It's a no for me, actually.
Well, for me, I think it depends on, well, how professional the person is, because I know that growing up, okay, because my parents, of course, were career driven, but they were very particular about their children. So, of course, there's always someone at home taking
Mm-hmm.
care of us. And at a point, I do remember we had a male house help
Mm-hmm.
at a point. And he was actually a very good guy, no problems, no nothing. Until one time like that, where the guy thieved something. Sha. So
Wow.
that was the only time when the guy finally messed up, and my parents had to let him go. But before that, the guy actually used to take care of us, and there were no issues whatsoever. So I guess at the end of the day, it depends on how professional that person is. Is he a professional babysitter? Because I know, especially, well, outside the country, things are done that way, whereby
Yeah.
young men actually, or people that are looking for ways to just raise money, maybe for
Earn
school or
some money,
something,
yeah.
they do this to earn some money. So I do believe that it depends at the end of the day of who it is and how professional they are, or how much you trust them.
Okay, Brenda, where do you stand?
I have a big no.
Oh, okay.
As in no. I can't.
Brother, cousin,
You see, maybe my brother, but I have only one brother.
brother-in-law.
No, no to brother-in-law, no. I mean, I love them dearly, right? But I just don't want any problems because really, if you listen, all the cases of abuse have always been by someone close. It's always a close family member. It's always an uncle, a brother, a cousin, or something. So why? I started out by having two girls, so I was very paranoid. I
Mm.
later had two boys, but I was already up there in
Mm-hmm.
paranoia. So when I didn't have a house help, you know how it is beginning of the year when all house helps have gone and they haven't come
Yeah.
back. I just take them to school and they stay there until I'm done with work and I go pick them. I pay the extra time in school. I can't just leave. I had a cousin-in-law living with me who was a guy, but I just couldn't.
Mm.
And it's not because he showed any signs that he had that kind of tendency, but I just didn't want any problems because
Better,
really
better to
better
avoid
safe
the
than
stories
sorry.
that touch.
Absolutely.
Hmm.
Itoha, where do you stand? What do you think about this? Would you actually let that happen? Say, even if it's a professional, they actually even getting from like a proper agency, because I know there are agencies
Yeah.
nowadays where you can actually get in touch with an agent, and you could get a babysitter. But if it's a guy, if it's a man, would you actually allow for a man to babysit your kids?
I actually would. Being reasons being that things have changed. One, if it's in the case of being afraid of child abuse, men abuse children. I mean, sorry,
Women.
women
Yeah.
abuse
Yeah,
children
absolutely.
these days. You have
Mhm.
all the videos we've seen of nannies beating babies. They're all women.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So I think it actually depends on the person. If you know how well you know the person, you can judge the person's character to a certain extent.
Mm.
I would leave my children with my brother.
Mhm.
I would leave my children with um, a male friend that I trust his character, not just any random person. So yes, I would. It
So
depends.
when it comes to male friend, does it mean will that male friend have to be someone who has a kid already, so he has some experience, or
Most
regardless?
likely a father. Do
Mm.
you understand? Most likely a father. So I
Okay.
definitely would, because abuse is both ways these days. You have female households that
Who
are
abuse boys?
lesbians,
Yeah.
actually, that are lesbians that
True.
have,
Yeah, true.
you know, inordinate affections towards females and
Mhm.
everything. So yeah, I would.
You don't actually
I don't
mind.
mind as long as I know the person's
I
character.
kind of feel like I'm on that table with Brenda. Paranoia.
Really?
I know.
I get your
I would
mothers.
leave my kid with my husband for.
Certainly.
If I would leave my kid with my husband and go to Jalingo.
For months even.
I'll come back. But with when I say like okay, but with say brother-in-law or my brother, if I had a brother, due to lack of experience, no.
Right.
You know. I
Mm.
mean my brother-in-law has kids. In fact, he has 3 kids, right?
Okay.
But I kind of feel like I don't know.
He's not the primary guardian.
Actually, you know, now that I think about it, he may be able to, but I'm thinking more in terms of the character of my kid. She can throw tantrums, especially when she's sleepy, and it actually drives her father nuts. So
Imagine
in that
somebody
in
else.
that yeah
Okay.
in that regard, and my brother-in-law is more, he's not
As
as
patient.
hands on
Okay,
when
okay.
it comes to the kids,
Mhm.
so she's going to frustrate him.
I'm just calling you right back. Please come and get your baby.
Exactly, she's going to frustrate him. So based on that, okay, yeah, I could live with my brother-in-law, maybe a brother, a cousin. My cousin, he has a baby, he has a girl as well. So yeah, I could probably leave my daughter with my cousin. But say we're getting a help or a
No.
nanny, I'm sorry, no, not gonna happen. I definitely agree that we do have ladies or women who tend to abuse children,
Yeah.
right? So yes, even my husband was saying the other day that sometimes when he thinks about how stressful and how sometimes annoying the babies or kids can be,
Yeah.
he even you feel like you want to smack them sometimes,
Yeah.
much less a stranger who
Yeah.
has absolutely
No
affection,
affection.
no connection. They would
Man.
think about it before they smack the
Smack
child,
the
right? So yes, I kind of feel like okay, that's where we now see a lot of that abuse going on, which is why caregivers definitely need to be people who are very passionate about these things,
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
really care a lot about kids or children, and
And are
serving,
patient.
yeah,
Because like
Yeah.
being
I
very
can never
patient
teach
as
in a
well.
preschool. Like
Oh, my
I
first
don't
job
care
was
how
as
much you're
was
gonna
as a
pay me.
teacher,
Really?
and I used to look forward to going to work every day.
Oh my
Really?
I
God.
love
Yeah.
working with kids.
You are
anyways.
You
Oh.
and Nikki, you guys are alone.
I'm
I
telling
did
you.
no
That's
a high
way.
five.
And they were between the ages of 1 and 2. I mean 1 and 2. Those ones that don't hear go
That
come.
doesn't help. My goodness.
So once you enter, they don't hear anything.
I once had an experience with
Oh my gosh.
having to teach kids. It was like you say A is for apples or whatever, and they're like, oh yeah, so what did I just say? They're just looking at you like,
Exactly. And yeah,
See, after a while,
I'm
you
like,
just
nothing is going into your head.
it was like Comedy Central
no.
for
After a
me.
while, just play. Just say, okay, there are time for learning anything has passed. Let's just play. Let's roll on the
I
sand.
enjoyed it.
Just
I used to
move on.
feed them. We used to play. So it was just all fun. I don't know.
Oh.
You are differently graced.
Exactly.
But I like what
Differently
Brenda was trying to say, that the truth is that not everyone actually has that gift to actually take care of kids. So you need to be very sure that whoever is babysitting your children actually has that grace for
Right.
children.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's a different thing to take care of adults or be there to serve adults than to take care of kids. You need that extra patience and understanding. And I know that women, I do believe we're more
Maternal.
compassionate, more maternal.
Yeah.
Because it's
More
inborn.
empathetic.
It's inborn.
Yeah.
But there are sometimes you'll find some men that actually are more compassionate
Yes,
than women sometimes. So I
actually,
guess it's
yeah.
So
just
true.
it just depends on the character or
Of the person.
Yeah. Yeah, basically.
Maybe if I find out, no.
You know,
I can't.
But wait, so
Brother, I totally feel you because you know when Nikki was saying it, I was trying to reason it. I was like, but my mind was like, nah, I'm sorry. It's not
but then
working
how
out.
do you now explain videos of nannies that
See, you see
abuse
that beating of
children?
children.
Yeah,
You see that
women
beating of
now.
children. It's okay. Oh. You see that beating of
No,
children. They
that's
can't-
not
Have you
okay.
seen the videos? It's not that
What I
kind of
mean by
beating,
it's
no.
okay is that it's very bad. All those ones that they beat children, put
It's a
children in
matching the
rubbish things,
devil
it's
kind
really
of beating,
terrible,
no.
right?
Imagine the devil.
So what I do, personally, I have CCTVs at home. I personally know. I don't even try because I have 4 children. If you beat them, I will just faint. You understand? So I can't even deal. So what I do, as much as possible, I test. I check on you. Random dropping. I just know the person for the first few months, and then, of course, CCTV helps me for the rest of the time. Now, for me, what I fear most is the sexual abuse
Exactly.
because it's almost like you cannot draw it back. So I
You know,
can't even start to think
Yeah,
about it.
but I understand what you're saying though, because we're talking about abuse. Abuse is abuse, whichever way it comes.
Sure.
Physical abuse, whatever. When it comes to beating, physical abuse, you're beating the child, smacking the child. That's one thing, right? But sexual abuse, it is on another level entirely. It's kind of like ripping
Cradle snatching
something
on another
exactly,
level.
ripping something out of a
Jesus.
person. That kind of trauma, I mean, they might get bitten, but they might not even, depending on
Remember
the
by the next
age,
year.
they might not even remember it. But when a person is sexually abused, even if they don't remember it, there are some things that would
Something
continue,
snaps.
something
Yes.
snaps, and some things will continue till they get older, and they would never be able to explain it or
Right.
understand why this thing is
It's like
happening
that.
or has happened. Especially as a kid, they will never really understand why this thing has happened. And when it comes to sexual abuse, even for an adult, for a grown up, it is invading
terrible.
your person. It is invading you as a human, much less a kid. So I kind of feel like if it's just, if it's not to even say just, I wouldn't even use the word just. If it's smacking a kid, of course I can come back home and let you know you're done.
Yeah,
But
thank you.
exactly. Get your things and get out. Even if I get very upset, I might decide to even smack you around too. But hey, we're not preaching violence. But sexual abuse,
Where do you
there's
start
nothing
from?
you can. There's nothing that equates to it. There is nothing to balance it out. There is nothing. It's literally just taking something huge out of a person, and I'd rather not stand that risk of that happening.
But you
in
know,
the
you guys are
first place.
forgetting that you can
Women
actually
can.
have female house helps that can also sexually abuse.
Exactly.
Well,
It's
yes,
both
yes, of
ways.
course, it's both
It is,
ways.
but you don't-
But if we
the
look
odds
at
are
it,
less.
exactly.
How do
The
you
odds
know?
are
They're not less,
so.
so.
Hold
Odds are
on.
not
Yes,
less,
I
so.
agree
Because
with
men
you.
don't talk
I agree
about
with you,
it.
because men don't talk
They
about
don't
there's,
talk
there's a
about
lot.
it.
There's a lot. I've been on forums and groups where guys talk about how their first sexual encounter
Was with their
was
house
with the
help.
house help,
It's
or
so
with one
rampant.
Yes.
aunt who
Mm.
came to the house or who was staying in the house with them. Usually a house help or an aunt who stayed in the house with them. The guys just don't talk about it. It happens to the girls too. Definitely, I agree. Right? Not disputing that. But let's face it, when it comes to abuse, more of the physical abuse will come from the women, and sexual abuse tends to come from the guys. This is not even okay. Here's an example. It's not even a case of a nanny. It's a case of a gate man and there was a house up in the house.
Okay.
This gate man had been sexually abusing this couple's daughter for years, like 5
How
or 6 years.
was he entering the house?
Where was the nanny?
Nobody knows. But the
Hey.
point is, at the end of the day, it was happening. It
Oh,
was
wow.
happening.
I've heard of drama
So,
too like that.
Yeah.
Really?
So
Taking
at the end of
children
the
from
day-
school.
So chances,
Maybe when you're carrying the child
But
from
how does anyone leave
school.
only
Yeah,
a driver to
but
pick the
chances,
child?
at the end of the day, chances are there may be more cases where it's happening more with the men, it's happening more with the guys, it's happening with the women too, definitely.
Yeah.
But we definitely see that it's happening with the men.
So
There
what
are
do we do? We just
more
stop
registered
having
cases
all house helps
with the
and-
men.
Oh
My dear,
Lord.
you prayerfully select your house.
It's
The
prayerfully.
way they
Yeah,
select
prayerfully.
Pope with white
I'm
smoke.
telling you.
Okay, we actually have a message in by Tosan on WhatsApp who
Okay.
says, "Good afternoon, everyone. For me, it is a no. I
Hello.
cannot allow a man to babysit my kids. I know some women or girls have abused their boss's kids. I just don't want stories that touch." That was a message from
Thank you,
Tosan.
Tosan. We're on the
Okay.
same side.
We actually have another one by Saint Fad. Okay. a certain somebody who says, I'm very protective about my son and I overshield him. I was abused at the age of 6 and 7 and I'm a man now, but sometimes a flashback comes up. The lady in question has forgotten and she's married to a pastor now.
Hell.
I don't trust anyone around my baby. I allow him to stay late in school and I pick him up and I believe everything he says.
Wow.
So see what we say about
And this is a
sex.
guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See what we say about sexual abuse. Like, if you're smacked around, chances are you might even forget it. I mean, our parents
And
even
what has this
abused
beat
us.
now?
Let's
Wow.
face it.
Like-
A lot of us, when we're
Mhm.
growing up, we were
Mhm.
abused.
That's the
We
word
were
for it, nothing
abused.
else.
Slap and the bearing.
A lot of people were abused, right? But when a person is sexually abused, it takes away, so it just does something to that person. Now, this person who sent a message and also says no one can keep my baby, even if it's a man or a woman.
Wow.
Like,
See
definitely
now.
trust issues
The trust
have
issues.
now
No, I
crept
think I
in there, right?
understand because
Okay,
Yeah.
we're gonna be taking more of your messages, guys. Please keep them coming in. Remember, our WhatsApp number is 0809 444 0981. You can also tweet at smooth981fm, and yes, check us out on Instagram at smooth981, and also on YouTube. Hey guys, on YouTube at smooth981 as well. We'll be right back.
see, I totally get it.
Wow.
My
I feel like
sister's
we should diminish the
children.
abuse that
Hey,
that
God.
is supposed to be child, like, how do I put it down? When you beat your child, people say that that's discipline, but in this country, because I know
Some
a
of our
couple,
beating is
yes,
abuse.
I know
the
a couple
beating
of
is
I know a
abuse,
couple of
yeah,
people that are my
and it's-
friends that haven't still gotten over the abuse that they suffered at their own parents.
Have you not heard some parents
Okay,
that beat children
we're
and
back.
do stuff?
We're back.
That was quite fast.
But I can't full stop.
Smooth 98.1. Yes, indeed. We are back in here. This is the Casbah on your Love Music, Love Life station. That was a short break. We just needed to take a quick breather, right? Because the ladies in the studio were like, that was fast. Not to worry, Lagos. Hey, we'd love to hear from you as well. 0809 444 0981. Tweet at smooth981fm, on Instagram at smooth981, and check us out on YouTube, smooth981 too. So I actually got a message in. Okay, so guys, in case you're just joining us, I have my lovely ladies in the studio. Itoka, we have Brenda, and we also have Nikki. I am Khadija, by the way, and today we are talking about, babysitting or babysitters. Would you let a man babysit your kids? Right? That's what we're talking about. Please feel free to join in the conversation as well. We have Oluwakemi from Ikoyi who says, for me, I cannot allow a man or boy to babysit my kids except my husband and brother, because I know what my brother can do to some extent. I can't even allow a male person in from my husband's family. Experience, she says. One of my uncle used to leave his daughter with his wife's younger brother when he was going to work. At this time, his daughter was in secondary school. His brother-in-law molested his daughter to the point that he got her pregnant.
Hell.
So I can't allow it
Hey.
at all.
Hey.
Wow, that's even a family member.
That's a
You
family
know.
member. Now we have this one by our certain somebody friend who says, you flog my son and I will,
I'll
terminate the
finish you.
person.
Terminate you.
You will see the demon in me when I see a marker on him. He says he's presently with my mom, and that is the only person I trust. And he also says my in-laws are a no. I actually really want to talk about how this will now affect family dynamics,
I
because
know.
just like
You trust your own
Oluwakemi
brother, you
says,
can't trust
you trust
your own.
exactly.
Yeah.
You trust your own brother, you can't trust my own brother. Meanwhile, your husband to
Wow.
trust his own brother,
He won't trust your own. So what?
he probably
Please
won't
just
trust
keep
my own
your
brother.
child, because
Everybody
keep
keep your
your
brothers
children.
apart.
Keep your children to yourself. Keep them in crèche.
Honestly.
Okay, we have another
Wow.
one by Williams who sent in the message from Snake Island, who says, I was by our house up for no reason.
Wow.
For me, I can't trust or leave my kids with anyone apart from their mom.
Wow.
By Dawn Blazer, who says, I think the installation of CCTV cameras will help. One needs to periodically carry out detective background checks on the kids. Also, being closer to them helps to unravel some things. God help us all. Thank you very much for actually, that was Dawn
Yeah.
Blazer from Ogba. Thank you for pointing that out. I kind of feel like a lot of areas where some of our parents made errors where a lot of our parents were not really close to us.
Mm.
I kind of feel like the relationship they had was more of a, you have to be afraid of me, I am superior,
Lord and
a
Master.
Lord and
Lord and
master,
master.
you know. And then when they get older, they realize, oh, they lost out on that relationship, and
Yeah.
they now try to
Try
build
to
a
call you
relationship
every
when
night.
it's
Too
pretty
late.
much too late because you've moved on, right? But a lot of times, you know, it's nice to talk to the kids, have a good
Yeah.
relationship with them, take them seriously when they tell you things, because that's another thing.
Yeah,
A
that's
lot of
another
parents,
problem.
you know, might be like, you probably don't know
You
what
don't
you're
know what
saying.
you're
If it's an
saying.
uncle or a brother, you don't know what you're saying.
And it's
That's
true.
not, you can't say that, or they'll
Mm.
outrightly tell you that you're telling lies.
They will even beat your
Mm.
dog.
You know, oh yes,
Yeah.
they might even beat you, especially for people who have been sexually abused and they begin to carry on some of those traits. They will just continue to beat them and not even bother to find out why this thing
Why?
is happening,
Yeah.
how it came about, how it
And
even
it's such
started
a
in the
vicious
first place.
cycle because the abused people abuse others.
Mhm.
So imagine you abuse a child, that one starts to abuse her younger one or her cousins and everything, and then you're wondering where is this all coming from? You know, you can't trace as far back as when one uncle stayed at home with you. It's just really, for me, it's a no.
So that thing is very important actually, that be close to your children. I grew up in a home whereby my parents actually were very close to my parents, so there's nothing we can't tell them. Even till now, they were literally our first best friends, let me put it that way. So it was easy for us to say anything if anybody's misbehaving. I think the house help self now, we cover the guy. I don't forget when he did something wrong, where the ones that actually told my parents what he did, and that's how my parents got to know, because they were not at home. So the truth is that it's actually very important that you are close to your children. Let them be able to talk to you, ask them questions. Did anybody touch you here? Then
Yeah.
have
And
names
let
for
them
certain
know
parts
exactly.
of the body.
Please call it the correct name.
Proper
Yeah.
names.
The correct
Proper
names.
names. Yeah, they should
Yeah.
definitely. I mean, depends on the age. As they get older, you begin to
Yeah.
unravel and reveal some things. But it's important for them to know so that when they come to you, you know exactly how to handle the situation. You
Yeah.
know, at the same time. Okay, we have this one here who says, "I will be discreet when it comes to choosing a babysitter, because whether it's a man or woman, a violent person is a
A
violent
violent
person."
person.
Yes.
Exactly.
Very true.
And you know,
Alright.
it never shows on their faces.
It
Oh.
doesn't.
The ones that are even the nicest to you are the most demons.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So what I always look out for, I don't look out for people that are hardworking. I mean, my house can be dirty. You see, I need the feeling between my kids, you know, because children are innocent.
Yeah.
Once they get attached to you,
Mm-hmm.
that's it. Oh, I'm keeping you. As in, you may not be able to cook,
Yeah,
you may not
I
be able to
understand
clean.
what
It's
you
okay, but
You can teach
I need
them.
somebody.
Yeah.
Yes, I need somebody that has the connection with the children, because children will just let you know one star.
They don't like this person.
Yeah,
they have such.
And
I
once
was
my
like, I
children
was
do
like that
that,
as a
I
kid.
don't like
And
this
my mother
person,
used to
you
wonder
go.
like, what's my problem? Because it was like I hated all the house. I think I only had we only had one house up that I had a good connection with.
Right.
You know?
That would have been so frustrating for your mom.
Yeah, but every other house up, it was almost as though I just hated them. Like, for real, for real. And we also had a male house up at some point.
Okay.
But I think for me, maybe when I was a lot younger, I think luckily for my mom, like that, this is what I always say, because all of these things where we're saying that, oh yeah, you know, I only trust the child with the mother. The mother has things
You
to
kill
do.
the mother.
You can't
You
kill
can't
the
kill the
But
Mother
the
mother.
good thing
has a
about
future
our,
now. She
our
has a
mothers then,
life.
they had sisters who would come stay with them.
Yeah.
or cousins.
Yes.
You know, they had
yes.
house
No, our
helps.
house
Yes.
was always
Always
full.
had.
And the quality of house helps then is different from the quality of house helps
These
now.
ones have opened
And
eyes.
for me, growing up, the house help wasn't exactly responsible for me because my aunts were there, my mom was there, you know, just take care of the house,
Cleaners.
Yeah,
to
clean
make
the
sure
house,
it's clean.
yeah.
And that's what I try to run as well. Because I, you know, would make sure my baby's with a trusted person. And when the house help is with them, the job of the help is to help you do other things while you focus on
the
the
baby.
child.
Yeah.
Right? That's just, you know, how I go about it, right? So yeah, I kind of feel like our mothers were very lucky, you know,
Yeah,
because
they
they
were
had
actually.
helps.
Nowadays,
Today,
there's no cousin to drag.
Your sister,
Everybody
your
has
si-
gone to
exactly.
Everybody
Your
has
sister
gone
wants
to
to go to
Canada.
school. She wants to be on flick. She wants to be a
Yes,
baby girl.
so-
You know, so everybody has their lives to live,
And that's
right?
very true, though.
Okay, so we have a message by Kenneth, who says, "Hey guys, you guys just brought back old memories. My aunt then did abuse me sexually for years at the age of 7 and
Wow.
8. I left her, and then I went to stay with an uncle who did the same. In fact,
Ow!
what he did,
Jesus.
I can't really just say it on air.
Oh, Lord.
Now I'm 42, not married, But I do flashback to those things sometimes.
Oh,
I'm so
Wow.
sorry, Kenneth. I'm so sorry that I
Kenneth,
had to go through that.
God is going to help you deal with this in the mighty name of Jesus, because I can't
Amen.
imagine it
That's
being
horrible.
at 42 now and you're still
Dealing with
with
that.
of this.
Yeah.
I just want to encourage you, because I know that it's a lot of trauma in your mind, but pray about it. There's nothing God can help you to deal with, and He would help you to get over this. Amen.
Amen. And you
Ooh.
should see somebody. Maybe you should speak to a
Yeah, it's
counselor.
important to actually speak to a counselor as well, someone that you trust, that can help you to deal with this, because it might definitely affect your relationships with people, and it's important that you get over this.
Thank you very
Wow.
much for that, Nikki.
Hmm.
We have this one here by our friend again, who says, when my son was in creche, I made sure I would try to go to the school at odd hours like 12 or 1 p.m. just to know how the child is doing. I hope you know that sometimes the nannies will take care of your babies for a few minutes, and then when they will till okay a few
Okay.
minutes till when they're about to close,
So that you
especially at
come in
those
and meet them.
odd hours. Yeah, so when you come in at those odd hours, it'll tell you the true
True
condition of how the creche works. I think that's also a really great idea,
You must drop
guys.
in unannounced.
If I
I
Yes.
do that in my
I
home
don't
all the
know.
time. I
Mhm.
drop in unannounced. I let myself in,
Mhm.
and
'Cause
Just find the
just wanna find out
situation
what's
of things
going on.
as it is.
yes.
Okay, we have another one by Daniel Onyx who says, from my perspective, and as career parents grow by the day, having no time for the children, I think we just need to be very careful, and we may need to employ technology to assist in some way, because the truth is, abuse could come from either
Or the
female help,
female, true.
even in the creche. That
Yeah,
is
so you
Exactly, I was
could
about
be
saying
safe.
that.
only God can assist us at this day, time, and age.
Wow.
This one here is by Femi, who says, I can't leave my kids with any of my family members.
Hmm.
This depends on the kind of family you belong to. Same thing with friends. It also depends on the kind of friends you have. I pray for them and I check my spirit or my conscience. We've had fathers and mothers sexually molesting their kids.
That's another
Even
thing.
I
another
have
thing.
close examples as well.
their own
I've
family.
heard of neighbors who molested their own sons too,
Oh,
but just
Lord.
be careful and follow your mind. We have Maiwa here who says, let's see what Maiwa's message is. It says, who says, other than the fear of sexual molestation for daughters and even sons, talking about the homosexuals in that case, women are more nurturing and maternal, men are not. Male friends when I say that men are not the best babysitters. If you're gonna leave your kids with men, be ready to have them eat nothing but junk all day.
I know.
Be ready for the head bombs and many more. Men are not as careful as women, so I will not leave my kids with a man. I don't know if you guys ever come across Instagram where they show
Fathers.
mommy babysits